Yo, what's up, everyone? Kaiser War here. Okay, so I'm talking about the showcase 4 days after it happened. I made a video before the showcase, I made a video obviously during the showcase, and I'm making a video in the aftermath of the showcase. It's 4 days ago. It was kind of crazy thinking about it, but yeah, it's just kind of funny thinking how that showcase just did not do well. A lot of people did not like it, and that's me included, because the thing is, there were some people who were talking about how it was disappointing. It's obviously fair. It was incredibly disappointing. But there were some people defending the showcase, saying, "Well, what did you expect?" You know, like they kind of had like no expectation at all. But I kind of feel like a lot of people did. I mean, 23 people tuned into the American Arxis channel, which is not even the channel that a lot of Arxis and Works fans are even subscribed to. A lot of them are just subscribed to like the main Arxis channel where they're able to see everything, because that's like the one that has the most reach, right? Hell, some people even forget Arxis and Works even has an American channel. But anyway, 23K people actually showed up to even see what was going on. And we already knew going in that there were three main points. There was games we're going to know, games that we already knew about, like, Hunter x Hunter and Impact, Under Night in Birth, Double Dragon. So, there was games that we knew about going in. But there was also going to be an announcement of a new Arxis and Works project and a new project by Daisuke. So people kind of figured, me included, that at least one of these were going to be a fighting game of some sort, or some type of game that was going to generate some type of hype. Because you put Daisuke's name on something, people are automatically going to get hype. Guilty Gear is huge. It would make sense to use Daisuke's name as something, to attract people to a big project. And Arxis Works doing a new project is pretty cool because, hey, they don't get to do many things that are new, because all the projects we've seen so far are things that have already been established, right? Like, for example, Hunter x Hunter and then Impact, even though Arxis Works is publishing that and are not the actual developers, Hunter x Hunter exists, right? Under Night exists. Again, they're publishers, not the developers, but still, Under Night is a property that exists. Double Dragon is a property that exists. So people kind of figured, okay, it was going to be like a new IP of sorts, something cool, something new, right? So instead of the showcase, we got majority of the showcase were games we already knew about, which, fair enough, we knew about that going in. Arxis and Works' new project was actually Bubble Bobble, of all things. And Daisuke's new project was a game called Damon and Baby. And I will admit that Daisuke's speech before he showed off the game was really, understandable. The speech he gave, I saw no flaw in it. He did talk about how a lot of game companies it's hard for a lot of game companies to create new IPs these days because of the ability to track people to a small project. And I understand that. I totally understand what he's saying. He even said it was a long introduction, and I felt that, right? Then you get into the actual game he's making, and it literally looks like a mobile game. The footage was pretty rough. It didn't look any interesting, and it didn't look like something Daisuke would make. Right, and this is something Daisuke wants to do. I don't see anything wrong with it, but I don't see why this was the thing to get hyped for. A lot of these, a lot of this stuff in the showcase could have easily just been like a Twitter post, an article, anything, right? Like, all of this literally didn't need a 20 to 30 minute showcase for it. None of this did. There was no game on here that warrant a showcase. Like, none of them. Not even Arxis and Works' new property, which was Bubble Bobble, which could have just been a trailer. Daisuke's new project could have just been a teaser trailer for something. Like, the only game that really interested me in the showcase was Demon's Night Fever. And Arxis and Works ain't even developing that game either. They're still publishing that game. So, like, a game that they're not even making is the hypest thing in the showcase, which you didn't even see gameplay of. And if I remember, and like, I knew the art style looked familiar to me, but I think it's the people behind Disgaea. I might be wrong. It looks like Disgaea to me. I haven't played Disgaea, but the art style does look familiar. But if it is the same people, awesome. But this is even Arxis and Works property, so like, I'm just kind of sitting there thinking, like, well, what did we tune in for? Why you guys even made a big deal about a showcase if this is all you're going to show? And that's why people are mad. Like, me personally, I wasn't really expecting much. But I was expecting something, like something new, something interesting. And none of the games in the showcase were at all interesting. I mean, I wouldn't say, dear me, wasn't interesting, but it's not something that's like, I'm going to like, it looks interesting, but it's not something I'm going to like actively go out my way to buy, right? Demon's Night Fever looked cool. I might get that depending on what the gameplay is, but they didn't show anything. And then like the other announcements were already stuff we knew about Nin Impact, stuff we knew about every other game. The only thing that kind of bugged me, like severely bugged me outside of how lame the showcase was, outside of Daisuke's weird little mobile game project, was Under Night, because they announced the last DLC character, which was Izumi, which we already knew was coming. That's the last character. We already knew she was in the season pass. But they announced that she's going to be playable in a demo at Anime Expo, which I'm sitting here like, so you mean to tell me the demo at Anime Expo where barely anyone could go? Where it's very exclusive, only a few people can actually go to that type of event. Why would you announce that on your showcase? A lot of people aren't even going to care because a lot of people aren't even going to go. And I feel like for Under Night, a lot of people aren't going to go because Under Night's not that well known. At least with Unica, there was a kind of an excuse because Guilty Gear was pretty big and people were excited about the new character. But considering how quiet Under Night's been, considering how little Under Night is known, it was weird to have that as part of the showcase. I mean, you guys could just said, hey, we have Under Night, Izumi's coming in, and just call it a square, move on, like they did with Nin Impact. But again, nothing in that showcase was interesting. It just felt like a waste of time. It really just felt like 30 minutes of a waste. Not even starting the fact that they had it scheduled weird because they had the time for America, it was like 7:50, and you still had to wait 10 more minutes after that to wait for the countdown, which I don't know why they even do that. If you're gonna have to wait for the stream to come on, then the stream starts and you still have to wait 10 minutes to get into the stream and then see what's up. That's 30 minutes wasted. Like the stream wasn't like 20 minutes and then like the countdown was 10 minutes. So that was just a waste of time. Like I just don't understand. Like Daisuke's project left many people deflated. You know, again, you hear Daisuke and you think of Guilty Gear, you think of all the cool shit in Guilty Gear, and you're thinking, okay, well, this game he's going to do is probably going to be super cool. And you know what? If he wants to make the project, I have no issue with that. It's just more like, why would you hype this up? The way they made it sound, they're kind of hyping it up. They could have just said Daisuke was working on a new project, dropped the name, and then just left it alone, right? Like, it's not interesting. None of this was, and it kind of bums me out because this could have been something more. Like they could have showed something of interest, but instead we got games that no one's gonna play. I mean, Dear Me, did look interesting, but it's like not gonna be like a game that's gonna attract everyone. Dia's Night Fever looked great. All the other games we saw there, we knew about. The new Bubble Bobble was cool, but it's Bubble Bobble. It's not like everyone's like gonna crash out over Bubble Bobble. Like it's just not gonna happen, right? And you know, a lot of people were disappointed to see anything BlazBlue related there, which I didn't. BlazBlue was not going to be shown there. Like I was expecting like something about Guilty Gear Strive. I was expecting them to talk about Lucy some. They kind of did, but it didn't really go any further than that. So yeah, I think that's why people were mad about the showcase. Like it's just people already had like little expectations going in. I personally had barely any expectations going in, and even that was shattered. Like how do you get lower than low expectations? That's what gets me. But yeah, that's the whole thing in a nutshell. The showcase was terrible. It was a terrible showcase. I really think like ArcSys could have just made this anything else. They could have just made like a series of trailers. They didn't have to actually throw a show for any of these. Like they just didn't. Like because a lot of these things we already knew about. And the Bubble Bobble did not warrant a showcase. Even though I'm not dissing Bubble Bobble, I don't think it needed this. Like 30 minutes. Like it's just 30 minutes of this. 30 minutes for absolutely nothing, to be honest. Like damn, I feel like if they had something in there to catch people's attention, they wouldn't feel like they wasted their time watching the showcase. But I really think like this is probably far one of the worst direct style showcases I've ever seen. I have never seen one that felt like a gigantic waste of my time. Not even the worst state of play could feel like this. Not even the worst Xbox Live. What is the name of the damn Xbox crap? Not even those can feel that bad. It's just massive waste of time. Okay, to be fair, I shouldn't be comparing like ArcSys and Works' like showcase to like state of play or Xbox game showcase. That's just not fair. Those showcases encompasses whole consoles rather than just ArcSys and Works' very small properties. So that really was That was unfair to compare it to, but still, I'm still mad.